he's going to or he's not. Either he's the God he said he is or he's not. Try it. I can't speak for him. His word speaks for itself. Try me now. Herewith saith the Lord of hosts, if I would not open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it.
Yes.
Let me tell you about room enough to receive blessings. I'm working with a gentleman right now. We was talking and he said to me, he said, you know, I put in this contract and I got it now. It's almost like a blessing and a curse because I don't have the money right now. I said, oh, hold up. You can't say that. The Bible tells you I'll pull you out blessings that you will not have room enough to receive. Amen. So if something's coming your way, that means something you sow somewhere down the line is bringing forth fruit.
Yes. Okay.
All we need to do is just seek God for the way to take advantage of it. And this gentleman stopped and he said, Lord, forgive me. And then we started our conversation over again. But that's the way we need to be.
Amen.
And whether it is too much or something or too little, I can tell you right now it has to do with your relationship with God. It has to do with your obedience to God. Not just yours, but mine as well.
Yes.
Because as I speak this message, I'm speaking the truth, and I hear the truth as well. I have an ear to hear, and I'm hearing as I speak to you. But just know that whatever we ask God, whatever we do for God, whatever blessings we extend to others, they're going to come back to us. Amen. So much so that he told Abraham, I will bless those that bless thee.
Yes. Yes.
I will curse those that curse thee.
All right.
And Jesus came back later and said the same thing in this manner. What you do to the least of them,
yeah,
ye do unto me also.
Amen.
You better watch your mouth when you speak.
Yes.
You better watch your wallet when you close it. You better watch your wallet when you open it. The world is full of things out here to allure us and separate us from the word or the love of God.
Yes.
And if we love money more than we love God, that's the root of evil. The love of money. Money suffices, it satisfies all things. But when we get to the point where we start to loving it so much, we got a problem. And I ask you all to ask yourself, what in the hell do I want today? And the answer should be yes. Because we are striving for a kingdom that this world has very little of anything to do with. Yes. We maintain a presence in society where the only reason we are here is because Jesus didn't say, Father, bring them with me now. He said, I pray that thou not take them out of the world, but that you keep them from evil. Yes. Yes. And here we are today. God's presence in the earth. So many blessings available to us. But they all become available when we understand the word and how to unlock it. Malachi 3:11 says, and I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground. Neither shall your vine cast her fruit before time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts. Let me tell y'all something about vines, and I'm getting near the end of this. When it comes down to these vines and these fruits, you know, a vine that brings forth a fruit goes through a whole process. If you ever think about during a certain time of year, there's just sits a stick. Ain't nothing on it. But that's a vine. And at a certain point, there are little things that start to come somehow out of that stick, and they go through this process to eventually even bring forth fruit. But there's a process. Sometimes that vine can look like a vine and still not yield any fruit. And then maybe something happens along the way and it doesn't even go through the process completely. And sometimes it just dies supposedly with roots in the ground. But that portion that dies, if you ever think about being cut off from something, if you can't get the things that you need, you're going to be cut off. And when you're cut off, you still don't occupy space. Okay. This church will still be at 2128 MLK Boulevard. All right. It'll still have those same two doors on it as deep painting today. It will still be lacking the parking space that it has right now. Yeah. But that's if God cut it off. Yes. But as long as it says here, as long as you're in Jesus and Jesus is in you, you have an opportunity to look forward to much fruit. Yes. And we're going to be fruitful as long as we stay within the Lord. Because it just says there, I will rebuke the devourer. But the things that God has given to us, we need to give back to Him. If somebody come give you glory, don't take it, give it back to God. To God be the glory. If somebody come give you something, some wealth, you inherit something, don't keep it all, give God some of it. Because when you invest in God, some of it's going to come back to you. But when you get all that you have like that that God would take care of his own house, that God was a man to go out here. He got plenty of people that had 5 and they're turning over to 20. He got plenty of people that has 2 in his pocket, 1,000 now. But you won't give account of that one you have.
Yeah.
Be careful. Be ye very careful and be ye very sure. I just want to take you to one place now. This is for the church. This is for the church.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, this is particularly for this church. Revelations 2:2. You know, the Bible speaks of 7 churches back then. But as I was preparing my message, because it dealt with giving an account, I chose this church. And as I pulled these scriptures, because it went so well with this message, because that's the way God is. Revelation 2:2 reads, I know thy works and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars. And I say that because there's probably been a whole lot of people through here, some true and some not so true. But we need to also search ourselves to see if we in that number is lying. As it goes down here to 2 and 3, it says, has borne and has patience, and for my name's sake has labored and has not fainted. Even if you look at how few the numbers are here. It was brought to me that one was considering closing the door and going some other place on 1st and 3rd Sunday. Oh my God, don't faint. Don't faint. Because regardless of what it looks like during the winter hours, regardless of what it looks like during the cold times, regardless of like the days when you have few, there needs to be a door open with somebody, God sends somebody else that has less than you to tell you, give me what little bit you have, so God can turn around and bless you. Yeah. You better be in place.
Yes, yes.
And this is the place. This is God's house.
Yes.
And I say that because the word says that. Revelation 2:4 says, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. We need to get back to our first love. Yes. God being our first love. We've been around each other so long. Some of us, we've grown too emotional. Some of us, we detached ourselves from God. And we detach ourselves from God from somehow trying to hate our brother, our sister. Or somehow trying to go out here and backbite on somebody when we should have kept our mouth closed or went to them in counsel and guidance. Yes. God is not mocked. You are going to reap what you sow. And whatever you sow, you're going to give account for. Verse 2 and 5 says,